Waiting for Tarot Talk questions. So this is sort of a new series. I mean, I've been doing these for a long time, but this is slightly different. So this is non-temporal, which means that it doesn't have to do with a specific date. I want to do more readings for just whenever you click on a video that you get the message that you were looking for. So for today's daily tarot talk, I want to do the question, what's up with true love? This was viewer requested, so somebody suggested that we do that, and I think it's a great idea. So I'm feeling like I want to play around with this opportunity to have more videos for you guys up in the August reading. I got some really good feedback on the Vimeo reading, so that is available in the About section. What I'm going to do is do the part of the reading here, and then if you guys want me to look deeper at the situation that we find, then I will do so on Vimeo, and that will be included as a part of your August package. So if you've purchased the monthly package on Vimeo for August, you will get it there. Or if you want to just get it just by itself, I did make a special link, and those are in the About section. So you can just get the package for August for all the monthlies. And then you'll get the Vimeo dailies as well included just for August. Or if you want to get the August dailies, then I made a special offer for that. So hopefully that helps. Let me know any questions that you have that you want me to do in the future, and or any other types of readings you want to see. I'll be happy to do them. So there's definitely more coming. I just have to finish September, and we're like really battling through this whole like this whole computer failure thing, and I don't think that it's to do with Mercury retrograde. I think this is like shadiness. I think that this is, I have a background in computers, so I know it's shady. It's something that shouldn't have happened, but whatever. I'm, obviously I'm gonna have multiple computers, so whatever. So I love this deck. It's called the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So today, if you want to do time caps, it starts right here. So 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Hi guys. So this is your Syrian Starseed Tarot. If you get a private reading with me, I pull 4 or 6 cards like this. This is kind of new thing, but I kind of like it. So these cards are really big, which I really love. I went from loving huge cards to kind of not liking them to really liking them again. Right now I really like them because this computer can't autofocus, so hey girl, hey. But anyway, I want to get into the reading. We're going to pick 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 2 here and 2 on Vimeo, and hopefully that will give you some type of message that is inspirational. So the question we're asking today is, what is true love? And this is for any time frame, whenever you're watching it, whatever your sign is. Hopefully you will get a message from this reading that will be helpful to you, okay? So let me know 1, 2, 3, 4 if you're watching live, which one you want. 4, okay, 4. And the second number I see is the second number that we will choose when I say so. So right now we're going to start with 4. So your first message is the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so I did see 2, so we'll stick to that. We'll do 4 and 2. Okay, fine, you guys are in agreement. So 1 and 3 we will do on Vimeo. Okay, so we can actually even, you guys made it easy on me. Hey girl, hey. Okay, so let's do it like this. So we got the 3 of Pentacles for the 4th position. I think one person is very busy with work, and they're actually, I think, hitting their stride with regard to work and work situation. So I think that it's going to be very hard for them to pry themselves away. I think that they're seeing the benefit of their labor, and I think that it's a situation where, you don't want someone that you love, you don't want your true love to in some way give up on themselves, or to give up on the effort that they are putting in towards being a better person and having more in life, right? So it's like a difficult situation, but I sense as though there's a real desire. I did that not on purpose. There's a real desire here to be together, but it's like how to actually be together when there's so much work to do, when there is so much weighing on this situation. So let's pick some cards to clarify. So we have the Prince of Discs, the Eight of Cups, and the Nine of Rods. There's the Ace of Pentacles, and there's the Queen of Wands, and the Seven of Rods. Hopefully you guys can see it. This is the Thoth deck, and so this is a really popular deck. So if you want to look up the cards, they're there, but they're pretty easy to see, hey? Soon we'll have better quality stuff once my computer's fixed. I might break down and buy a computer because I think it's going to take a couple weeks and I can't really afford that. So sometimes it's cheaper to buy a computer. Isn't that crazy? Like my mind's blown because I'm like such a student, you know, like that's how I relate to things. It's like, but now it's like it actually will cost me more to get it fixed in a weird way. So frustrating, but that's life, and I'm really happy overall with the quality of how it worked and stuff. I mean, all this time that I've been making videos for you guys, it kept up. What I think it could have been, I could have melted the inside by running so much video content through. So, you know, it's insured, which is fine. I'll still get a new computer, but I think I melted it on the inside. So speaking of Queen of Wands, melting all my computers, which has been a problem since the 90s. I've broken all my computers. Not like broken them, dropped them. I've just broken them from running them so hard. I'm already on the next step, you know. I don't know if you guys know. I'm like into like, can't wait till I can get the best of the best, you know. I always burn out my specs. Anyway. So this Three of Pentacles, I feel like we have the Knight of Discs, and it's a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, somebody very much set on their work. And in fact, there's some kind of new physical beginning. And it's like, how do you approach this situation? How do you approach this situation? And in some way, there's a feeling like somebody is not good enough, like they can't even give as much as they would like to give, or there's an intimidation factor. I think most likely you are coming through as the Queen of Wands. Sorry, she's so bright in this image, but we have the Queen of Wands, and so I feel like you're really like being admired. One person is really being admired. They have a lot going on, and I feel like the person involved in this situation feels like they're a little ant, like they can't necessarily be at that same level, and so they're like, what can I physically offer in this situation that will be good enough to garner her attention? And that's the intimidation factor. It's really sad. Like, I have a lot of really, really beautiful girlfriends, like girls who are very beautiful girls, and they often struggle with that guys have a really hard time trying to how do you say, like, appease them, or have a really hard time trying to get over the fact of how they are so beautiful. So there's all sorts of weird behaviors that come with that, like shaming or name calling, put downs, all of that stuff, ignoring. So if you're involved and somebody's giving you some kind of hassle, if you're you know, someone that you really like is being kind of weird, it might be just that they're intimidated. Men have a lot of pressure on them that women don't understand, and women have a lot of pressure on them that men don't really understand. And I know a lot of men very closely as friends, and so the thing that I figured out about it, because I made it a purpose to learn, and I kind of troubleshooted it, I think that men have a pressure, like a pressure on each other. And from yesterday's daily in the Vimeo, I mentioned homosocial patterning, and somebody said, no, women are homosocial. Actually, we're all homosocial, but the relationship patterning that men go through, the scientific way of looking at it is that men have this great pressure on them that's instilled in them from from very young age, and they are constantly measured up against certain things that they have to meet, and that puts pressure on them in terms of dating. So it's like they feel like the hierarchy is really reinforced in the masculine side of things. There's hierarchies on both, but just bear with me. I'm saying this to make a point, and it is true. And so I feel like a man in this situation is trying to prove themselves in this circumstance. I think that he's trying to, in some way, figure out how he can even contend with the magnificence that is the Queen of Wands. Well, conversely, this could also be flipped, where this is the same gender, this is the female, this is the man, but there's one person who has a lot of, shine, and a lot of, like, they're very glowed up, and they're really focused on their work, and in some way this person is trying to meet them at that level. Also, at this time, this person could be very involved to try to create enough coin and enough physical mobility to actually move through on that. And so he's working so hard. I'll call him a he because it's the Prince of Discs, but switch it to what you feel like. I feel like he's working so hard, but I think he's emotionally burning out. And I think that what it's going to lead to is that he's going to clam up. This is such a common occurrence. I can feel like all of your heads kind of nodding to it and being like, yeah, I've been through that, I saw that, and all this. And I feel like this is really common. I feel like a lot of people have gone through this. I know I have, where you're trying to bridge it, and through ignorance or through not really seeing things for what they are, you kind of don't realize how much of an effect you have on another person. Maybe you think they're awesome, and maybe you think that, like, oh, I have to, like, do my best in order to influence them, but, like, maybe your best is this and their best right now is this. And so maybe this is a queen, this is a prince, right? So maybe you're doing your best, but maybe your best is freaking them out, because maybe your best is, like, respectively so intimidating, so in some ways I feel like there's someone who wants to come in, somebody who wants to approach you, but I feel like you are so, like, intense right now that in some way it's freaking them out. So I think that we have the Seven of Wands. You can't go against yourself. If they can't handle the heat, if they can't handle the heat, then get out of the kitchen, right? So I feel like this is not necessarily a situation where you need to change something, but I do feel like I feel like you can take it easy. You can find a compromise in this situation. I think that I think the pressure is, I've regretted it in the past where I, like, glowed up. I'm pretty humble, but sometimes and I have Neptune in the first house, so people kind of see me a certain way, and then when they get in closer, they see the intensity more, maybe. But I don't know, one way or the other, but, like, sometimes, like, yeah, I just, yeah, I'm just saying you have to take it easy on a guy sometimes, and kind of let them do it. I can let them do their thing, and I don't mean to be traditional by saying that, but, like, you just have to let a guy figure his stuff out, and this is all gray area, so there is not one answer that's right or wrong. I think that there's, like, a level to this, in which case, if he can't step up now, he's never going to step up, because every single bump in the road is going to be a problem. Conversely, I think that you should also take it easy on the people around you so that you don't completely freak them out. So that's the first one, number 4. And I know you guys want to do 2, so we're going to do 2 now. So your number 2 is the Two of Flames. Oh, that's so nice. And I love this card. Isn't that so nice? Love it so much. Okay, so let's see what happens with the Two of Wands. And I'm going to keep these cards out for the Vimeo reading, because we'll do more with that there. And I'll post that probably within the hour, so I'll film it right after we're finished here. So 2 of flames, change in vision. And again, if you're just popping in, this is all signs. Anytime you watch this is fine. It's not specific to a date. If you're watching it, then this is your time to watch it. And if it resonates, that's great. All of that. So I feel as though you've been working so hard to, I told you guys yesterday, I'm super lit right now in terms of my intuition. It's like on. It's on like Donkey Kong. Hey girl, hey. So I feel like there has been this this real vision that has come through about a situation, and with that comes a great desire. There's a great desire for something to happen, and it's inextricably tied to feelings of inequity that have to do with childhood experiences for both people. So whoever is involved, I feel like it's like the child who is at the store window looking at the puppy. They want the puppy, but they can't go in because it's obviously a pup. But sometimes, I don't want to make it sound like that because this is achievable. That's the point. The anxiety of this situation has to do with not being able to get something that you want, but it's completely within your reach. And so how are these twin flames? How are these twin flames? I like true love. How are these true love partners? That's what we're doing today, going to come together. And so if you're single and you're watching this and you're like, there's no dude, this is the general energy that is around you right now as you're watching. This is the energy that you are in some way a part of. You are a part of this energy. This energy is resonating for you, and it's bringing truth to situations. And the more that you step into it, it's like a probability function. Like as you step into it, it manifests, and you're in the storyline already. And so as you step into the storyline, the reality unfolds. So it's like it's pretty much about how open you are and how willing you are, and without questioning another person's free will. That's the other message that's really important. I know I'm flying through a lot of concepts and it's really hard to kind of understand some of it, but the point is that, like, if you step into your reality, if you step into the manifestation or the crystallization of your experience, and you don't question this person, like this person won't like me, or this person will in some way reject me, or I will be kept from that which I want. If you step into the reality and can emotionally, through your heart center, through your solar plexus, and through your body, be able to release the feelings of fear of what that person will experience towards you, then you really it's not, you guarantee the fact that there will be a connection. And the fact is also, you have to differentiate. There's intuition, which we all have, and then there's projection. A projection coincides with this Two of Wands. The projection that they don't want you is a projection that is built on past experiences and past faulty belief systems. Secondly, there is the intuition, where you're picking up on the nuance of the fact that they have some kind of problem that they are working through, that they have some kind of issue, or in some cases, let's just face it, some cases there is a misalignment that you have to accept. But I don't think we're talking about this. And you can't pick Bobby and be like, yo, Bobby, I want you over here right now, because Bobby may not be the person energetically. You might be confusing that with your desire, and with your desire, or with your projection of insecurities that you're not yet aware of. And so therefore the smoother transition is to get emotionally connected to the love that you're experiencing here, and then say, universe, this is this person, this ambiguous shape of a body, let this person come in. But you have to release attachment to Bobby, you have to release attachment to the puppy, you have to release attachment to the thing that you think you want, and allow that energy to come in and celebrate that energy coming in. So be fully confident that the energy that you are getting is the one you want. How about that? Ooh, fire emojis, please. That was some fire. Okay, let's see. Sun's at my north node now, so hey girl, hey. It's like I'm your captain. Let me take you to the future. Let's see, your first card is the Knight of Cups, or the King of Cups in other decks. I'm gonna lay down the other ones face down and we'll start beginning this. So I think that maybe somebody was playing with your visions, playing with your desire, playing with in some way, maybe in the past, but projecting onto you or testing. And in some way, what this person is really good at may be something that you feel challenged by. And so there was an energy that could have crystallized as a human being, or maybe just as a typical series of experiences that you had that tested your desire. It's like, oh, you want this. And it felt almost not malicious, but it felt like prankster, like that energy was available to you in some way. That energy was available to you in some way. But in some way it was like it wasn't testing you for a personal growth. It was more like playing basketball with an NBA star. I mean, you learn a lot from it, right? But it's almost like it's not as welcome as a learning opportunity. It's more like it was a little bit mixed with cynicism. It's like it's mixed with cynicism, and it's mixed with kind of patronizing energy. Now, you still learn from everything, right? You want to have a learner's mindset. You want to be always open to the fact that good things are coming in. It's harvest season, rah rah, it's all good. And I feel like how this person treated you is a definition of them and not you. All week I've had clients who have internalized the way that they've been treated, and one of the first things that we touch on almost immediately is the fact that they in some way feel guilty by the events that have happened to them. That has a lot to do with the concept in like pseudo-psychology, whatever, the self-help field, of what's inside manifests as what's outside, which is a very short-sighted view of how reality really works. And so when we work in New Age, we feel there's this great strong narrative, this propaganda, the word is propaganda, that what is inside will manifest as what is on the outside. And that's simply not true. There is a line of truth with that, and it's true that by optimizing your internal self-worth and your internal trajectory, you will help and make better choices on the outside. But you cannot make the distinction and paint it with a giant paintbrush that which is happening miraculously transcends to the universe around you. Now there is a movement between these things, and I'll get into these things like another time because it's too deep to do that now. But I feel like that's the energy of the Knight of Cups. That's the energy of the King of Cups. In some way, he understands that intuitively and somehow disrespects you from being fully able to enjoy the process of your own awakening with respect to that. So shady, but I think it has to do with immaturity. I know it's a King of Cups, but it has a tinge of immaturity, and it has a tinge of carelessness, which is, I think of like this fat, do you guys know The Little Prince? And then there is the accountant, and he's like this fat man at a desk, and he's like just kind of like, designating all these numbers and stuff. That's the kind of energy. It's like it's like you're so small, and that person is so large, and in some way, in this one capacity, they may not have been across the board, but in this a capacity of emotions and desire, you are so small, they are so large. And in some way, I feel like you are so small, they are so large, that they are careless with that inequality. And it's sort of uncivil to be able to rub your strength in somebody else's face. So it's like when somebody asks me, I have clients who come to me all the time they're just new to astrology or intuition. And I've been doing this since I was like 4 years old, like intuitive tarot since I was 12. All of these things I've really learned a lot about it over time. And I've learned from really good astrologers here on the west coast of Canada. A lot of these astrologers are expats from the US who escaped Vietnam. So those were the people who taught me. So I love it here, and that's where it comes from, but they never rubbed it in my face. And this is the thing. It's like you never rub your strengths in another person's face. So when a client comes to me and they're asking me, you know, what is the sun transit? I never like laugh and say you should know that. You should just look it up. It's like we all have strengths, and you don't rub your strengths in other people's faces. And that's the issue I'm taking with the Knight of Cups, that there was this, he has a natural ability that he's careless with, and because of ego gratification, he's in some way trying to exert power through that in a place where you know you're weak. So it's like you don't pick on people's like weaknesses. You try to find each other on common ground and battle it out there. But no, I mean, you just don't do that. And especially in love-based relationships. I don't know if this is a father, I don't know if this is a friend or a past relationship or a current relationship, but I feel like that's the blueprint that you started from. That's the blueprint. Oh yeah, King of Cups. That's the blueprint that in some way tried to screw with you. And I don't think it was intentional, like malicious, but I think it was indignant, and I think that it was careless with regard to what happened to you as a product of that. And it was kind of wasteful. So you did learn lessons from that, but it was not necessary. That was long, I'm sorry. But it was deep, right? Hopefully, let me know if that resonated for you. But it wasn't necessarily malicious, and I think that the feeling that it produced was that it could have been malicious, and it took a minute to figure out that it wasn't malicious, and that was a whole part of the fuckery. It was a whole part of the issue to do with this person, that their carelessness produced a loss of time. Another big thing with clients and your guys' comments is people are conveying how much time they've lost on people and situations. It's like, it's really unfortunate when people steal time from you, significant chunks of time, and then they don't really even resonate with the understanding of what that significantly means. So I feel like this is not necessarily a relationship that's on the go. I really went in on this. This is like Virgo analysis, right? This is not necessarily a relationship that's foregone, but this is the problem that you have come into this scenario with, and this is probably why you're pushing this so hard. This is why you're pushing your identity so hard, because you have been scared shitless by someone who was imposing on you emotionally. Here is the next message. We have the Lovers. So this could be a Gemini. It could have something to do with a Gemini or family issues coming together, trying to find a greater vision for things. So for example, you take this, okay, you take this dynamic, because this is a King of Cups and this is a Queen of Wands. So they're kind of energetically, they're high functioning cards, right? So she does not use her spirit to shame this person, and this person does not use their emotional equity strengths in order to shame this person. So it's like, it's the cordial relation between elemental dignities. If this person wants to walk around and puff themselves up emotionally, they should just find another water sign, like a Queen of Cups. And likewise for her, if she just wants to be spirited and in some way, impose on other people her spiritual dominance, she can just get spirited away. That's a joke. But yeah, she can find a King of Wands to battle it out with in that capacity. So I just think that this is like a big toast to you if you've been through it. And I think you were brave for even kind of trying to play with someone on their turf, and in love relationships, that's a good thing. You want to entertain each other on each other's turfs, but it becomes abusive when that person uses that to psychologically diminish your presence. Here is the next message, the Two of Pentacles. There was great learning, and I kept on pointing to this was like you were taking small steps forward in the right direction. You were taking pragmatic steps towards some kind of outcome that was demonstrative for you. And so I feel like it was like just tedious more than anything else, because there was a very, or there is a very strong connection, a very family connection. And it's almost like trying to do your homework while he's playing rap music really loud or something like that. So it's like you're doing the humble thing, so keep doing it. I'm just trying to like pump up your self-esteem, because it seems like to me as though there's a strong narrative, a strong propaganda that is trying to make you feel a certain way about yourself. Here is the next message, the Ace of Cups. I think this person has come to an awakening, and I told you I don't think that this relationship is over. I think this person is coming into awareness. They're having their own process. Hopefully, I mean, if you're born into this, if you're born straight into like emotional mastery, or a level of emotional mastery that is truly infinite, emotional mastery is truly infinite. But if you're born into emotional mastery, then one of the greatest challenges that you have is to humble yourself within it, to kind of take a step back to something that you've never been before and try to understand. And so maybe this was a learning experience, the shame of having done that to someone. I've done it to someone else before, probably not as an adult, but I've gone through my learning curve with these kinds of things. And so the shame of that can be also very scathing. So this person was just as impacted by their behavior. And, you know, then we can get into a conversation, does that behavior stem from the self, or is it socially constructed around them? So you don't even want to get into that kind of reduction, because then it gets just crazy. You just want to accept the fact that you should not feel guilty for the emotional level of integration that you've kind of stepped into with this person. And also you did well. You did the brave thing, because you were up against someone who was better at something than you. Sorry. You went up against someone who was better than you at something, and you held your own. Even if you failed, you still held your own, and you still made progress. That's a brave thing to do, to be with someone who's smarter than you, or someone who is, you know, more emotionally composed than you are. Whatever it is, when people do that, that's an act of bravery. And so I think that the corollary of that was that you had in a certain way felt as though you had failed, but no, you had actually challenged yourself by bravely facing something that was in some way greater than you. Like I said, the relationship may not be over, because I feel like, and I was saying this before, you can rewind or take the video back, I don't know how to call that, to see the point. But it's very clear that it's a dual process of learning, and you have to remember that you have strengths that the other person doesn't have. And then you have Two of Cups. Boom. Okay, this is really heating up. And then we have the Ace of Swords. So I think the awareness happens, and there's going to be communication. And I think that communication is going to emancipate and to grow things. This is really huge, actually. And in fact, I feel like this is more the friendship-based relationship. But this is almost like how do you say this? This is like, he's like humble, you know? He's all glowed up. He's all humble, but he's like real. And he's like the poor smith, you know, like hammering away at his tools, but he's humbly working towards it. And he thinks you're a goddess. He thinks you're like this, you know, and that the problems are stemming from the fact that he's in such great awe and inspiration of you, which comes with its own problems, because then you have to make sure that you're not like waving your entitlement or your privilege flag in their face. But, you know, I don't know. And then this person, I think it's just like really abundant and robust feelings of love. Two and two, and we have 2 and 2 and 2. I feel 2 and 2, let's take this. This could be a soulmate based relationship that really takes over, and it's a weird position, because on the one hand I feel like you have a humble experience here, whereas though this experience is just like a flowering of love. And I think that this person is learning emotionally as well, because I think that he didn't fully appreciate love before, and I think he's starting to learn more about like he's growing in his capacity to love as well. And I think that right now there's like an issue that he's dealing with associated with humility, you know, like I've shamed someone emotionally. That's a really hard thing for somebody who is conscientious, for somebody who is truly sympathetic to other people's experiences. That's like a tough energy to deal with. And I think that probably you, and if this is you, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. If this is you, if you're the King of Cups in this scenario, then I feel like it's good that you have recognized your fault in things, and it's good that you, and there's no shame. Like, I think people hold themselves back so much with shame. Like there's no shame in making mistakes. Even the master makes mistakes. And I think that there is a beauty and the humility in fault and error. And so I feel like you should celebrate the fact that you have recognized it and do everything possible to get past it and to not waste any more time. The next message is for this person, which is Two of Pentacles and an Ace of Swords, and it's like you have to improve your dialogue. And I think you're coming into the awareness of needing to improve your dialogue about the past. This is like this is your kind of conditioning. This is the self-talk that you give to yourself. This is you going up against a mighty Knight of Cups and hanging your head and bowing away at his criticisms. This is you being humbly approaching someone in this kind of virtuous way, and then internalizing the fact that you were trying to play basketball with a basketball player, you know, and you were just like a lowly person that's good at other things. Maybe you're really good at, I don't know, working out. Maybe you're really good at swimming. Maybe you're really good at whatever it is. Maybe you're really good at math, you know. So everybody has their thing, but on this terrain, you were not as skilled in the area of love, passion, emotions. This was new to you. You were taking a really big risk emotionally, and that was brave. And I think that that's the self-talk. And this is the really ugly part of what this Knight of Cups did, and that was specifically you don't make fun of children that are learning, right? You don't like laugh at a kid who hasn't figured it out or whatever. Like, you just don't do that. That's not a nice thing to do. And so likewise in this scenario, he was kind of like laughing at you for figuring something out that he knows. He was being a bully, and he was a jerk for it, and he now regrets it. So, hey girl, hey. So we'll find out more on Vimeo. I went way over time because that's why I stopped doing dailies, because I just can't. There's so much information here. You know, we can just talk for hours and hours and hours. So let me know if you have any other general questions. If you guys ask, I roll my eyes when I ask for questions and someone's like, can you tell me, Veroosh, about my pregnancy or my dog? And I'm like, no, like this is for everyone. So if you want a one-on-one question, I'll be happy to answer it in private. But also don't expect me to, like, I answer holistically. I will not answer something just haphazardly and without consideration for your overall well-being. I'll always answer in as complete a manner and try to help you fish. I don't give people fish. I help them learn to fish themselves, so make the best decisions for yourself. If you want to find out about these two cards, I'm going to do them on Vimeo now. They will be free as a part of your package if you bought the August readings, and then I will do a separate section if you just want to watch the bonus dailies for August. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a nice day, and let me know what you think. Bye.